Shopify or WordPress, which is best for your business? To make the best choice, not leave you confused and put you as a beginner in mind, here are my recommendations. Number one, hosting and domain. In order to use Shopify, you don't really need to host anything because it is an all-in-one platform, like a full package, right? But the only thing that you may have to do is you have to connect or get a domain to add to your website. But when it comes to WordPress, you need a hosting company and you have to install WordPress to that hosting company. So that is the only way WordPress can actually work. Though WordPress is two, we have the one that acts like Shopify and the one that you can install to your own hosting. But the one we'll be reviewing today will be more of the one that you can install because that gives you lots of control. So let's get to number two. Number two is cost. Yes, in choosing any platform, cost is very important. So now let's go to Shopify. Shopify actually is a little bit expensive upfront, right? But they have a 3 month free testing, which sometimes I think it's $1 upfront. I'm gonna put the whole pricing thing so that you can see it. And after that, after the first 3 months, you'd have to pay, I think, the minimum of $12 and above, and multiply that. If you see it at the end of the day, you'll be paying around 100 and something dollars if you do the math correctly. So that is for your first year. But with WordPress, all you just have to do is get a hosting company, and there are hosting companies that can charge you less for a year, and you'll be able to get up to even as low as 50 something dollars per year, and some of them actually give you free hosting. So but when it comes to costs, Shopify upfront is a little bit, not a little bit, it's kind of costly, or you would spend more with Shopify upfront than WordPress. Also, don't forget about the renewal fee, because renewal fee sometimes is hidden and they won't tell you. You may pay, let's say, 177 in the beginning, and at the end of the next year or starting of the next year, you'll be seeing you'll be paying close to $200 or more. Same thing goes to WordPress hosting companies. Always look at what you're going to be paid renewal. But since when I've been building sites, I'm not sure I've gotten past, let's say, $150, except that site is, let's say, VPS site or a very big one. Also, both platforms have their plugin and theme costs, so this could vary, and Shopify is known to always have a very high-end cost for their plugins and also for their store templates. While WordPress too, they also have amounts for their plugins and also for their themes, but majority of the time you can get a lot done with their free templates and free plugins. Number three, onboarding for beginners. Remember when I said I'm going to put beginners in mind? When starting with Shopify for beginners, it is relatively a little bit easy than WordPress, I would admit. But with Shopify, I would still say there is no platform that is that easy, because I've used this platform for the very first time before, and I won't lie to you, they have their learning curves. So, but Shopify is a little bit easy because it has almost everything in one platform. While WordPress, you would need a proper guide. Both of them requires dev. If you want to build something very fast and as a beginner, you don't want to waste more time, ideally just look for a dev to make sure your old time is cut short. But if you want to do it yourself, there is no how. You're going to face a learning curve, and you need to understand how the web works in order to use both. And there are lots of material, especially for WordPress. Even I myself have 11 hours of WordPress videos. So with WordPress, sometimes I don't see where you get wrong, because there are lots of video. The same with Shopify, there are lots of persons putting out their content in the whole Shopify and WordPress community. Number four, customization. Yes, you can actually customize both. Take for example Shopify. You can actually customize Shopify, but you'd require a dev or some development knowledge in order to do some customization. But when it comes to WordPress, if you look around, WordPress can do high-end customization and sophistication. You can do a lot with WordPress, but the real gem here is you need a dev, or you have to have a technical knowledge to go advanced or bazooka with both of them. So ideally, if you really want to go far, both of them are good with customization, but WordPress has lots of customization, especially when a dev handles it. Number five, e-commerce features. Yes, both of them were built for a particular purpose, or why we are reviewing this video is because of e-commerce, right? You want to sell your product, so which is actually good. Both of them have e-commerce features. Shopify has out of the box e-commerce features, have all the things you need from inventory to selling. Just imagine Shopify as an all-in-one box item, right? But when it comes to WordPress can do more than e-commerce, but still has everything about what you need about e-commerce and more, right? Because it has a large library of plugins to change your website to possibly anything you can imagine. Yes. So both of them have a good number of things that you can use to make sure to sell very well. And I would not kid you not, they deliver on this. Just that you need to know how to use them. For WordPress, you need to know what plugins to use, the right plugins and everything. But Shopify just comes out of the box and you'll be able to, use Shopify, where these features are and how to make use of them. Number six, support. So when you are building with this tool, you need someone to call when you have issues. Trust me, you would always have issues when it comes to the development world. So for Shopify, you can contact their inner chat. That is not hard once you, because it's a subscribed platform. But for WordPress, to make it very easy, you are not building directly with WordPress, you are installing it to your hosting. The ideal place to go to is your hosting company, and many hosting companies do a good job by fixing problems, except you choose a bad hosting company, then you would suffer a bad customer care. But once you go with a good hosting company, I believe almost 199% of your problem will be solved. And one thing again with WordPress, they have a large community of people ready to help. I kid you not, right? So both of them have a good support system, but one is more personalized and the other is personalized depending on the hosting company you go with. But I can guarantee you both works. But when it comes to like development issues, right, it is always advised to have a dev, because that is a different kind of support, right? So you have to have a dev that would be available to fix it. But if it's you have to Google and do research for WordPress, right? But for Shopify, you can actually contact support. Number seven, which is CMS, also known as Content Management System, or AKA blog. So when it comes to content management system, Shopify has a normal and a good content management system. But when it comes to WordPress was built for content management system. So if you are having a store whereby you want to build a blog or content related platform where you need to reach out to your audience, rank on Google search engine and other search engines, right? WordPress has a more robust content management system and helps you sell more in that regard. Number eight, maintenance. So both of them have the ability for you to maintain their platform. With Shopify, you can do this automatically. You don't have to do anything, right? Shopify has this update, the rule and everything. But when it comes to WordPress, well, you have to either press the button to update. And even if you have the automatic option, it is always ideal to do a backup before you update your site, because there are always one or two issues of plugins that does not support the latest updates from either one or other plugins. So yes, when it comes to update and maintenance, WordPress has some manual thing to do. So if you have a dev, like I said, to make it very fast, right, it will be very easy. The dev are the ones that have to do monthly or weekly routine checks to make sure all your plugins and themes are updated to the right or current version. And if you stumble upon any issue, right, they would help you to fix it. But if it's you have to do it yourself. While Shopify will be very easy, WordPress may stress you, but it's just, a month maintenance. So yeah, on to the next. Number nine, ownership. So with Shopify, you really don't own the platform, right? Doesn't mean you can't export things out. You don't really own it. You are building your store on, a public platform, or I would say private platform. But with WordPress, it is you that owns your own site. It's like you own the land, you are installing everything inside it, and you can pack whenever you want to pack. With Shopify, though, you can, that's why I say you can export, but it's like you being on Instagram or any social network, and whenever they feel like a policy has changed and you've disobeyed their policy and privacy, they can shut you down if you violate any of their terms and rules. But for WordPress, you are the one that will violate your own policies, except you're selling something not legal. The hosting company can come in to shut your site down, and if you have valid proof for that, you can regain your site. And if still no valid proof, you can always register your site on another hosting company, but you would lose your domain because that domain would be marked as suspicious. So both platform gives you some level of ownership, but um, Shopify is a little bit limited, and WordPress gives you the full control to move your site wherever you want it to go. So, in summary, comparing Shopify and WordPress is like comparing iPhone and Samsung. They both have good specs and they both have a little bit of their own shortcomings. So, which should you choose? So, like an iPhone user, choose Shopify if you want something easy, you have the upfront costs, and you don't want stress. And if you're in the US, majority of let's say shop owners actually use Shopify. Doesn't mean WordPress is not highly used in the US, but they prefer it more there than any other part of the country because they have lots of payment integration that they could use, right? But if you are to go with WordPress, choose WordPress if you want control, you want high customization, and you want the ability to do a lot with your website. And both of them gives you the same results, but the only difference is how you build your website. For me, though, I've been building with WordPress for a very long time, and I've built few sites with Shopify. And for someone who has less budget and don't want to spend much upfront, WordPress is always the ideal option to go with. Then if you also want to choose later on to move to Shopify, it is also very, very possible. So bye for now, and I hope I was able to help you choose which one to go with. And if you're still confused, you can leave a comment below and I'll be able to answer your question. Bye for now.